Hi, you're watching VGO40 and this is VGO Girl, and today we're going to talk about a review for Order in Chaos 2 Redemption, and this is for the iOS and Android. And this game I've been playing for about 3 years or so I know pretty much all the aspects of the game. And there's some really good points to the game, and there's some really not so good points to the game. So we're going to go through most of the good points first, and then I'll just kind of touch on some of the downsides of the game at the end. But the game is a really great game. It's, typical MMO questing with leveling up as you start off low. Now, this is a mobile game, and unlike a lot of the other mobile games that I've checked out that are MMOs, it does not do any autoplay. You can click on quests at the top of the screen, the quest name, to run you to the next location or port you to the next location, but it doesn't run you from mob to mob or collect things on your own. You have to do that yourself. So that's a really great positive point to the game that I really loved, and it has a pretty good storyline if you actually take the time to read through the story as you go. Now, in the game, as you go through it, there's mostly at the beginning, it's all just kind of PvE, and you're going through leveling with the quests. Now, there are some additional things that you can do at the lower levels. There's different pet collection opportunities, so you can go through, and the game has tons of different pets that you can catch. And I guess I should point out that most of the game you can do for free. In fact, I've played it for 3 years and barely spent any money on it, and the money I did spend was because I wanted to help support the game. So you really don't need to spend any money on this game. It can be totally free to play if you want it to be. Now, if you want to level fast, if you want to get the best of the best right away without putting in the time, it will cost some money. But you don't need to if you just want to play and relax and have a great gaming opportunity. In 2018, the game went through a major redesign, and it went from a game where you had to really farm a lot of armor and do a lot of dungeons, and it was really long and drawn out. And they redid the armor process to make it very short, to catch up to the later dungeons in the game, and just to kind of catch up with the players who had been there for a long time. So now certainly the game has gone quicker, but they do have a dungeons in the game. It is a random matching, or you can group in groups of 4, but it is a 4-person dungeons that you go through. Now, you can run through dungeons with less people, but you have to walk into them, and it's a little bit, rougher, but in general, you do 4-person dungeons. Besides the 4-person dungeons, there's also solo dungeon opportunities. These solo dungeons will help you get cards, gold, or there's even festival solos. So there are different solos that you can run in the game besides just doing the group dungeons, and also your weapon upgrades are solos as well. So there's kind of different things you farm in the game to kind of upgrade as you go along. One is weapons, another is your gear, and you also have the opportunity to work on cards as well, which will up your stats and give you different stat bonuses. So when you work on your cards, you can level them up, you can get them higher ranks with different star levels, and whatnot, and you collect kind of like a deck of cards that you then, use as the bonuses that you have. Similar to other games, there are guilds in Order in Chaos 2, and you can apply to these guilds and join them. There's about 100 players as the max for a guild. Besides helping each other out, guilds are great for doing different events, and the main event that they do together is Guild Wars, and you can gather all of your guild together and fight against other guilds. It's just a great PvP opportunity, and a lot of fun. You get together, you fight, you collect, you go after a sword, and you have to bring the sword to the center, and it's a lot of fun when you get a lot of people together to do the event. Besides Guild Wars, there's three other PvP options. One is just world PvP. There's certain zones which are accessible for PvP play. It's not open world as far for PvP. It's restricted to certain areas. Another one is an equal gear battlefield, and this is in groups of 3 players, and you can match. You can make up your teams before you go in, or you can randomly match up with teams. And so this battlefield, like I said, is equal gear. You kill each other to get a hold of the circles, and there's 2 different circles, and then later on there's one. So it's a fun PvP opportunity. Another major one is a just straight out, you go at each other. Once you're dead, sort of 3 versus 3, quick little arena. And there are restricted times for when you can play each of these, as far as days of the week and times during the day. There's so much to this game, and it's hard to go over it in a short period of time. So if you check out VGO40 and OAC2 for Ordering Chaos videos, I have a whole series of help videos out there which go into more detail on each of these areas and topics. But, you know, that's kind of all the positives. This game is a lot of fun, and I absolutely love it. There's some really big negatives to it too, though, and they all stem from one negative, and that is Gameloft does not support this game well. There's, some rune hacking in here for cheating, and that causes a lot of problems on some of the servers, especially the Chinese ones, from what I'm told. And Gameloft will do some stuff about this, but not a lot. There went for a year and a half without any updates or support. The festivals that are run sometimes do not run fully, and you can only do certain aspects of the festivals. So, and as a result, a lot of people have left the game, and so it's a pretty small base now that seem to continue to play it. But, overall, it really is a fun game, and I think it's worth checking out, even if there are not a lot of people playing it, at least compared to what it was maybe 2-3 years ago, when there was a huge population 2 years ago. And so, I think as far as if you're looking for an MMO to play, this really is a great one to play if you haven't been doing this one in the past. And, I think it's fun. There are the negatives, there are the positives, but I think that there's a lot of content you can get through, and a lot of gameplay you can get through, and a lot of fun you can have before you get to the point where you really are starting to deal with some of the negatives that come about. And so, I think that that's at least a good positive point for this game. So, download it free. And like I said, if you really want to just kind of take some time and take your time with the game, you don't even have to put any money into it. So it can be totally free to play as well. So, you're watching VGO40, and this is VGO Girl, and we hope that you found this review helpful, and please take a moment to like and subscribe.